Hey guys, it's Kim here. Hey guys, it's Kim here with Fairily Fiber Fun. Thanks for joining me on this stash organization video. So I'm going to go through my hand spun stash, which is in a box on the floor over here. It's just like over there. And it's a big bin. It's overflowing. And I've got some projects that I need to do. There's just a lot. So we'll go through it together and figure out what we're going to do and where we're going to put it all. All right, here's the mess. And the first thing we're going to do is pick up a couple of things off the floor so we have room to move. And then we're going to dump the big box on the bed. That worked great. All right, at the moment I have all undyed. This is Shetland from Whispering Pines. Roving that I got a long time ago. This is Jacob. It's a big old skein of Jacob. So it is 200 yards. And the rest of this is just, this is for a specific project I'm currently working on. Everything else in here, like I think this might be merino, but I'm not sure. Doesn't quite feel right. This one's labeled, it's Gulf Coast. Most of these are Gulf Coast. This is Texel. This is Texel. This is probably Tunis. This is Gulf Coast. This is more this is Polypay. This is Gulf Coast. That's probably Gulf Coast. It's either Gulf Coast or Tunis. Yeah, that's Gulf Coast. These look like merino. I have a little bit more merino to finish applying. So that is all the undyed stash. Now we have a little pile of tunis right here. All this I've spun and dyed. This is a gradient that didn't fit on the bobbin, so I ended up with part of the gradient being a separate skein, and I just had it stuck it together. This was one very small bat, and then this was a dye sample for somebody that wanted some hand spun yarn. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the basket, but I think I want to pull that bag out and put it on top. So, here we've got art yarns, all different art yarns that I've spun over the years. Those are probably going to go in a bag and then in the box. Those are just a bunch of purples. This is one I spun as a demo when I was vending. These are all my rainbow yarns. This is the original, and then all these are the rainbows that I have videos on. This is wool and flax blend. This is wool and sisal blend. This is another really pretty yarn I spun up randomly one day. These two are for a project. I need to finish spinning those because there's I think there's 2 or 3 more yarns to go with that. This is leftovers from my sister's cardigan that I made her. This is Vintage Independence Day on BFL, spun up as a sample. These are Texel. They're going to go straight in the box. And then these are, I think these might be Jacob. So I'm going to put these in the box. I'm going to set that aside. That's a small thing. I got a little pile of small stuff there. And then I have a gold skein that I don't know what I'm going to do with. It was supposed to go in a skirt, a woven skirt. We'll see. And I do not remember what this is, but it's one of my dyed colorways on one of the fibers I had a long time ago. I don't know. I don't remember. It's not labeled. Of course it isn't. This is when Sadie's Spincraft was doing the sponsor videos. This is one that I sponsored. So I spun this from her. And the other one I've already used, but it was the original colorway. And then I thought there was another one from her, but I really don't remember. So I may have already used it. Alright, so the box is still overflowing, but at least now I have a bag of projects that, you know, that one here is on the loom right now, and the other ones are not yet determined. This little bag is scraps, and then I've got my art yarns and small skeins, and then, you know, underneath I've got the other white or undyed skeins, and then the random colors here. And I found a little piece of practice weaving I had done to practice double weave, and It turned out really well. There's no fold. There's no wrinkle here. So I did a really good job with this. At first I was doing stripes, and then I got sick of doing stripes, so I quit and just color blocked. All right, so what's left are projects that don't fit in a box. And this is yarn I purchased from Knitting the Stash. This is Shorn 3 2020 clip. I wanted to support her, what she's doing, and so I bought some yarn, and she gave me this little sock yarn as well. Jade of So Perfect Pink Forest Floor, I don't know. Spun singles, high twist, chain plied on the Ladybug. So this might be some of her hand spun, actually. I don't know. So those all came together. These are special. This I purchased from the Fiber Festival from a friend. Yarn in Time. It's a mountain made blend of local Shetland, Icelandic, mohair, and nylon, milled in Cleveland. So I purchased this to support Yarn in Time because I really liked her and she wasn't selling any yarn, so I bought some yarn. So I have no idea what I'm going to do with this, but it's very special, so it gets a special place. Then we have the 100% Tunis sweater. It's hand spun from, well, felting kit, what do you know? A random bag. Okay, this does not go in here. It goes in this bag. And I found this, which is a self-striping yarn that I spun as a self-striping yarn. Okay, got my pattern. I was wondering where that went. Good grief if I got trash in here. Got my knitting needles. I don't need that. What is this? I don't need that. Aha! Nice row counter. So I need to just do the second sleeve and then this will be done. And this is my hand spun notes for this project. So just gotta finish. Do the second sleeve and weave in ends and give it a wash. So I have my stitch holder here. I'm going to switch to DPNs at some point. There's my stitch marker. Those are the needles, the size I was using. I think I switched to DPNs when I did the cuff. But anyway, I need to finish that so it stays where I can get to it. This is a pair of socks I've been knitting for my man, and I need to shorten this one. It's too long, so I got to rip it out and you know, go back to maybe here and then do the toe. So I was going to do this one until it was the right length and then fix this one. It's been on the needles for about 4 years and I still haven't finished it. That's what lives in here. That's going in here. I just need to finish it. It's cables. And then this is my dress. So all the yarns for my dress, my Norwegian dress, that I'm going to do here at some point. So the brown is hand spun Gulf Coast, all natural. And then I purchased a bunch of yarn from a store in Clarksville, a little sewing and yarn store, for the other colors of the dress. So I think that's going to look really pretty together. And they're in the bag that I purchased this yarn, where I purchased this yarn. Probably should put that in one of these bags since it's a project. And it's a very big project. Never knit a dress before. Tudor Rose is the name of the store. So I can get rid of that. All right, and I just have a little bit left to talk about. This goes in here. Well, that was a little more rambly and all over the place than I wanted it to be, but I hope you enjoyed. Yeah. If you have suggestions, I would love to hear them. I've got a lot that I need to do. I'm all over the place. I don't know. And I want to do a whole lot of spinning, but I'm like, I don't know what to work on. And as you can see, I've got about a million projects started in my head, but not actually started. I think that's everything. I hope you guys enjoyed today's very different video. I don't usually do a stash organizing, and it really isn't organized because it's still overflowing the bucket, but at least it's sectioned. So I just pull out a bag instead of tumbling skeins of yarn all over the floor. I guess that's better. I have this bag sitting on the bed, so I'm going to put these in it. I think that's a good idea. That way they don't get mixed back in with all the others. And I know these are special. Yeah. So, any advice on what sort of projects to use different yarns for? Even though you don't know all of the yardage, and honestly, I don't have a clue what most of these are. Some of them are in Ravelry, some of them are on paper, some of them are in my phone. I am terrible at keeping track of stuff, and I'm terrible at labeling things. So I haven't labeled a thing from this Tour de Fleece. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, but that's okay. This is how we roll these days, apparently. Okay, I'm gonna quit rambling and let you guys enjoy the rest of your day. All right, guys, have a good one.